And welcome to the Jeff Ahern Show. Good to see you all. I hope you're all having an amazing lead up to the Christmas holiday season. I guess technically we're in the Christmas holiday season, but I hope you're enjoying that. I am. I had a great night out last night. I went to a small plug, Tammo Center here in Los Feliz area in Los Angeles. A lot of fun, saw the carolers, and so just a great time. And I'm really enjoying the holiday season this year. I don't know why, a little more than usual. Maybe it's just a kind of a reprieve from just the insanity of all the news and what's going on. That the whole aura of Christmas, the whole nostalgia, I think, of Christmas, and those old Rankin Bass cartoons that I find myself watching as I pound eggnog. But all that being said, and all the happy, warm fuzzies out of the way, we can get back to talking what's going on in the news, which is, as always, is pretty crazy. I mean, that's what the news is. Obviously, I think the lead story today is something I just put up on. I did a piece out on Rumble. Please check me out on Rumble. Also, jeffahern.com and also Patreon. But Brittany Griner. So she was just released. But I say she was just released, as you probably aware, unless you've been living under a rock. She was released for a guy named the Merchant of Death. And it's such a lopsided trade. I mean, she's a U.S. citizen. Okay, yeah, of course you're going to try and get her back, but do you go a 1-for-1 when the other one is the guy called the Merchant of Death? I mean, his actual name is Victor Bout, and he was convicted of trying to sell, and he sold other stuff obviously prior to this, but what he was convicted for was trying to sell, I think, $40 million or $20 million worth of surface-to-air missiles, I think 5 tons of plastic explosives, machine guns, 10 million rounds of ammunition. I mean, and all of this stuff was used to kill us or people who are sided with us, and so he was put in jail, rightfully so. And Russia wants him back because, why not? Putin maybe he's running out of ammo and guns. He needs someone who's well connected and can grease the wheels a little for him, get some more drones or whatever else he's looking for. So they're like, well, who's in office? Joe Biden. He's a rube. He's a moron. Tell him we'll trade the Merchant of Death for Brittany Griner. And Biden went for it. Of course, he went for it. I mean, it's a woke paradise. She's a African-American lesbian WNBA player, and I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I had no idea who this woman was. I still barely know who she is. I know she's a WNBA player, but I just feel like, based on the dangers this guy poses as a Merchant of Death. I think at a minimum, you got to get a few more people out than just Brittany Griner, and she was railroaded. There's no question about that. There was a foolish move on her part, but obviously Russia had ill intent, and their ill intent was to do something just like this. Let's get anyone really, but with a little notoriety, ideally someone who that we can they'll get woke points if they release for, because they're no dummies. They know how to play Biden. And so that's what they did, and it worked out perfectly. They played Biden like a fool, and now the Merchant of Death is in Russia doing his death merchanting. And Brittany Griner is going to go back to probably kneeling for the anthem in half-empty stadiums at WNBA Arena. That's my question. I was wondering about this too. I think I put this in the story. When Brittany does go back to playing, obviously her first game technically would be a big deal. Like, oh, she's back. Will it be even half full? I mean, right now I think they run it around quarter capacity. I think even giving out free tickets, nobody watches the WNBA. They don't. That's a whole other story. But and you can look at the ratings, the fact that they don't televise any of the games, I don't think hardly at all, and then just the attendance numbers on it. And I'm a big fan of women's basketball. I'm a UConn Husky women's team. I went to see them in the NCAA finals, or they didn't make the finals, but the preliminary round a couple of years ago. And it was great. I think I saw Notre Dame beat, I forget who, but it's a terrific game, triple overtime game. Just great thing. But then somehow when they get to after they leave the collegiate level, I lose all interest. And I know I feel like that's the case with a lot of people. I think that's why their attendance numbers are so low. And really this league is basically supported by the male league. And then you couple that with the fact that now with all these trans things going on, as far as men identifying as women, but biologically keeping all the equipment, you've got men moving into women's sports. So eventually the WNBA just becomes like a kind of a junior varsity men's league for trans guys, again, courtesy of the left. So that's where we're at right now. One thing I did want to bring up too, as far as the Grinner trade, again, just going back to the inequality of the trade, it's absurd. And Ducey, I love Peter Ducey because he's just funny. He's like, why did we? He's talking to Pierre, or Biden's press secretary, and he was like, why did we get such a bad deal? Why did Russia get such an amazing deal? We just got what happened? She's like, oh no, we got a great deal. And then couple that with the fact that originally they had wanted to get Grinner with a Marine veteran who's been unjustly accused, like Grinner was he was accused of espionage, and he's been rotting in a Russian jail for 4 years. But Biden or his team or whatever, they couldn't even manage to get a 2-for-1 deal on the Merchant of Death. You ought to be able to get like 20, 30 people out it's like, okay, you want the Merchant of Death with death in his actual name, who's gunning for Americans or selling guns to kill Americans. You ought to at least be able to get 2 people out instead of just one. And then the one you do pick's been in there for less time, and one kneels for the anthem, the other guy fought for the country. It's where are your priorities? Well, we know where the priorities are, and they're being shown. So this poor guy, Paul Whelan is still stuck in a Russian prison somewhere. But it's maddening. Like, how can you not at least get both of them out? And you really ought to be able to get more. There's probably a few others on the list we don't even know about, and get them out. And my point in my video was like, well, if Whelan really wants to get out, if this guy wants to get out, you got a leftist administration right now, so you got to play to the administration, right? And their backers. So Whelan needs to announce that he's going to be trans. He wants to be trans, and he's being denied gender reassignment surgery. And if he does that, then MSNBC and CNN will be like, hey, we got to get him out now. We got to, because right now he's a military guy. He's a former and the left, they don't care for the military. So like, why are they going to make any effort to get this guy out? But if you make him, he wants to be trans, and now this and that, he's gender fluid, whatever. That's the world we live in. But yeah, what a horrible trade. I'm glad, good for Brittany, and I'm sure she's stoked to be out. But I mean, to trade her for the Merchant of Death, Victor Bout, is a level of absurdity that only the left can provide. What's going on? Because like the guy, Victor Bout guy, he's not going to quit being an international arms dealer. He's not going to be like, maybe there's a job at the local Russian Home Depot, and I'll just do that instead of my multi-million-dollar international arms business. Yeah, he's going to go right back into business, set up shop again. And who's he going to kill? Well, Americans or people who are on our side, who are allies. I mean, he's not going to do it directly, but indirectly, he's going to sell weapons to the people who want to do it. And that's what's going to happen. So you're going to see one of our copters go down someplace, in Afghanistan or Iran or, Russia or whatever. Not Russia. That's probably be a war. But, somewhere, somehow, some rogue, jihadists, let's say, not really rogue. I mean, that's what they do. Is going to take out one of our helicopters, one of our service vehicles with some surface to air missile, with some, grenade launch, something that's been provided by Victor, because we let him out of jail for a WNBA player. It just doesn't seem like a good deal. This is as bad a deal as when Charlotte traded Kobe to the Lakers for Vlade Divac. That's how bad a deal is. And Divac wasn't terrible. That was actually a better deal, I think, than the one we got. But yeah, comparatively speaking, yeah, you should have kept Kobe, Charlotte. All right, here we go. The liberals are. I'm looking at Fox News right now. Liberals are upset and throw a tantrum after Sinema says she's quitting the Democrat Party, and you're seeing more of that because they see the writing on the wall. They realize that just being associated with a lot of the Democrat platforms and policies that are crushing these cities is not good. It's not good for them to stay. It's all about self-preservation. That's what it is. So rather than, she's not going to the Republican Party, but she's becoming an independent. So the Democrats are going crazy. You're horrible. Turncoat, blah, whatever. I wish every politician was an independent. I wish we didn't have parties. I wish every politician was an independent, and then they would feel free, being an independent, ideally, to vote based on their own morals and what they believe in, rather than just towing the party line, which I guarantee half of the Democrats, at least, probably don't believe in. Republicans too, aren't in agreement in their heads with what they're voting for, because they're trying to keep their toe the party line. But we don't live in that world. So anytime someone leaves the Democrat Party, I'm like, great, that's phenomenal. And if they don't want to become a Republican, then good. Okay, become an independent. That's what we need. Independence from party affiliation, where decisions are based purely on common sense and the needs of the community you're supposed to be serving. It couldn't be any simpler than that. But we have created this system where you have to toe the party line no matter what, and agree with whatever ludicrous policies are in place by said party, in order to further that party's agenda, regardless of how it really impacts your community. And I think you especially see this along the border states, where you got Democrats in border states, and you got a Biden administration with this non-existent border policy. So everyone's just flooding in, but the people they serve are in these communities that are being overrun by migrants, by illegal immigrants. And so they have to survive, distance themselves from that party, or lose an election. Yeah, so good, and you're seeing more of that, and you'll continue to see more of it, especially going back with the freedom. I want to call it the Freedom of Information Act, but Twitter with Musk coming out and now daily releasing what we've all known is true. And it's not like this is a surprise to Democrats either. They knew what was going on. Democrat voters, Democrat politicians, they knew that if you had a right-leaning opinion or something that was anti-narrative, you were being suppressed. You were being shadow banned. You were being kicked off platforms. And so even I think Dan Bongino just talked about how his that's what happened to his account. So nobody knew who wasn't already following you would ever see your stuff. Meanwhile, if you're a leftist, being at Twitter or Facebook, any place, Instagram, whatever, you're expanded. You're shown to other people to so you can get more followers, and it's so corrupt. There's a wickedness to it. It's just. With social media, it's slightly different because it's not technically news, but it's also supposed to be an open platform, which none of it was. Twitter now is becoming that. And so the left is scrambling because Twitter is such a huge platform. And so now you have people like Adam Schiff complaining, and again, just making stuff up, which is kind of what he does. Russian collusion, anybody, 4 years of it. Didn't happen, Adam. Didn't happen. None of it. All of that was horse crap. It was all horse crap. So it's no surprise when you anything coming out of your mouth is nonsense. So this case, he was tweeting at Musk saying that that hate speech now is up just dramatically at Twitter. And Musk, I just love Musk because he just goes to the numbers. He uses facts, which liberals hate. And he goes, yeah, no, that's not true at all. It's actually down a third. Since before I took over, hate speech is down a third. Yeah, but don't let facts bother you. In the past, it wouldn't. The facts, he could have said that, like say Musk did on Twitter. He could have just said that about Musk, this or that, and then Twitter would have just been like, "Yup," and anyone who countered whatever, or spoke the truth on Twitter would be suppressed. They would be algorithmed out, or they would just simply never be heard because whatever it was would be taken down, or their whole account would be banished, like the Post when they did the Hunter Biden piece. Again, all that true. None of this is surprising. We all know what's going on. Well, I shouldn't say that. Most of us know what's going on. I think some on the Democrat side, unfortunately, actually believe what they're being told. You gotta get multiple sources, folks, in this day and age. But what Musk is going to clean up with Twitter because he's doing what we need. He's doing what we need more than anything right now. That's creating, I believe, a truly open platform where Democrat or Republican, you're allowed to speak your mind. It's truly becoming a town square where you can say it. Yeah, a leftist can say one thing and a Republican can say another thing. You know what I mean? And then people in the middle can say things, and their views are equally valid. And only things that are actually not factual will be taken down or actually legitimately racist will be taken down, not just something you disagree with. So you're going to say, oh, that's racist. And then they just automatically, shadow ban that account. That's what happens to me on TikTok. I'm not hardly on that anymore because I'm shadow banned. And nothing I say is offensive. Well, it's offensive to the left, but none of it's untrue. It's just anti-narrative. Give you an idea how bad it is. I did a piece a while back when Biden was wanted to put crack pipes in drug kits. I think for San Francisco, where else, right? And so it was in the news. It was completely true because there were actual Democrat groups mad that he was taking the crack pipes out. It's obviously was intended that, and then someone found out, heard about it, and like, yeah, take the pipes out. And then so I did a story on that. I had that story taken down, and the reason that they gave was because I was talking about the story, and the reason that they were taking it down was that I was trying to sell crack pipes. So I'm like, clearly, this one, obviously, they're going to. My appeal will be upheld, and they'll put the video back up. So I appeal it, and no, they agreed with it. Yeah, you're trying to sell. I was literally doing what I do news about talking about it. That'd be like, if someone on Fox or someone was doing the story, and then someone's like, oh, he's trying to sell crack pipes. Be like, no, he's delivering on news. But how could you? But then for the actual company, be like, oh yeah, he's trying to. This is what people on the right have been dealing with for years. And so Musk is now opening this up, and it's great because I think Americans just want a place to go to hear the truth, want to go to a place where they know they're not going to be lied to. You can agree with something or you can disagree with something, but at least you're getting a full picture and not just this little mini leftist tube where you're looking down this little hole into a pit of socialism. This is a big picture thing, and that's what he's creating. He's creating a big picture source for news, and we need it desperately because our news is a joke. The leftist media is a joke. It's all narrative driven. That's why their ratings are in the toilet. CNN's can barely seem to stay in business right now. And then you got the Times is hysterical because that's such a woke piece of crap. And the New York Times now has their own going against the upper management of the Times. They're striking over there or doing like a day walkout or something. And the reason that they can't get what they want from the Times, the workers, is because the money's not there, because the subscriptions are down, because there's not as much revenue coming in. Why isn't there as much revenue coming in? Because you're not a news source anymore. You're a propagandist outlet, and you have been for years. And people, why would people pay for propaganda? It's free. You're going to pay for it? So, their own stories are the reason that their salaries cannot keep pace with inflation, because their stories are so leftist driven and such just crap, just made up nonsense to support a liberal agenda. So no one's buying the papers, no one's subscribing to it. People are leaving it, and so the income's going down. So there's no money to pay you anymore. You want more money? Start delivering the news again. Maybe then your subscriptions will go up, and then there'll be money to actually pay you more. Dopes. It is what it is. But yeah, I have no sympathy for for the Times employees on their little walkout. Their walkout, it should be against themselves. You want to walk out, go look in the mirror and then walk out of the bathroom. There's your walkout. You're the problem. It's not the Times. Well, it is the Times, but without you and your bogus reporting and your completely leftist slant, you wouldn't be in this mess. Oh God, look at this. It's also on Fox. A royal expert calls out Meghan and Harry documentary as hypocritical reality show. They're going down. These two. They live in a world of delusion. Even the left. I don't think even the left really likes them. Like leftist people. They're just not. They just don't seem like. Well, I don't know about Harry. Harry, I think, is a dupe. But Meghan does not seem like a particularly kind-hearted, nice person. She seems very narcissistic. She seems, and this is how I know. This is how I know the left doesn't like Markle either. And if you don't have the left, the right already doesn't like him because they're just a couple of dopes. And Harry, I kind of feel bad for Harry, but yeah. So Meghan Markle, I did a story on Meghan Markle. It was not pleasant to her, and on YouTube, this is on YouTube where I get no hits, where I'm completely censored. Well, Rumble's great; they put my stuff out, but YouTube censors the hell out of me. And on YouTube, where I usually get maybe 100 views on a video, it's always nothing. This view on Meghan Markle, where I'm just tearing her a new one, got over 20,000 views. So you get 100, 20,000, then back to 100 after that. And so obviously the left supports, they get out the message that they want out, or that they're okay with getting out. So they're okay with me trashing Meghan Markle. So, that made it through their woke algorithm. So clearly the left doesn't like them either. But yeah, that being said, no one's a fan. No one's a fan of them. They're slowly but surely becoming persona non grata, even to those who like them. And good, it's enough. You don't need them. Low rent Kardashians. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. Let me check out the New York Post. Post is so great. Elon Musk called worst boss of the year for abuse of employees. You know what? You don't have to work for the guy. There's no one's making you work for Elon Musk. If you don't want to work for him, there's the door. You can leave. If you want to work for him, okay. You know what you're signing up for, and good luck. And then San Francisco, of course, he had like beds put in somewhere so like employees could sleep there if they needed to. And then everyone's all over him for that. Meanwhile, the San Francisco got like real problems, but that's what they're focused on, because they know he's such a danger. He's such a threat to the left, because he calls them out, and every day he's releasing new documents and new things that show that what people like me have been telling you for years is true, that the left and the leftist media and the leftist social networks are completely censoring conservative or simply non-narrative viewpoints in order to promote the agenda that they prefer, which is the leftist agenda. And they don't like it. They all know it for the most part, but they just don't like it being pointed out so blatantly. But it is, and he's going to make a fortune on it. He's going to create the news source. There's the mainstream media, the traditional news is going away because it no longer provides that service. It's propaganda. It's not news. So people will still want news. They want to know what's going on in the world. They want an objective viewpoint. So what are they going to do? Well, they have to find a place to go to. And Twitter, I think, is going to be that place, along with other things. The guy's a smart dude, and they'll keep trying to do character assassinations the whole way through, But I think he's going to be just fine because he deals in facts, and you can't argue. Well, liberals can argue anything, but if you have a brain still, you can be like, oh well, here's the facts, and yeah, that supports his argument. That's how an argument usually should be won, with facts. But liberals prefer to censor those, to algorithm them out. So you just wind up with opinions appearing as facts, and you have to make your opinions based on that, or your decisions based on that. All right, here's a New York Post. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, no movement at all in these Idaho murder, man. I hope they at least have like the FBI or someone else in on this, because I feel like this is out of the wheelhouse of whoever the local cops there are. I think you're going to need to bring in the A team. I don't think they're not cutting it. You need to say, hey, look, if you haven't already, help somebody, please. Can we get some help here? Because this is dragging on, and they don't seem like any further along in figuring out who the heck this psychopath is. But yeah, so that's my opinion on that. Here it is again, more stuff on Markle and Harry. Horrible is the beginning title of the piece. Horrible. Markle's half siblings hit back at Netflix series. No one likes her. Family doesn't like her. I think her mom liked her. I think she got on with her mom, but that was about it. Oh, and then this guy again. I don't even know who he is. I mean, he was a woke quota hire to begin with, because that's what liberals like Biden do. They don't base their opinions on skill sets or on what you've done or what you've contributed or done. Normal things like, why would you hire someone? Well, he did really well at his last job. He created this, and this. He's just a crackerjack, really smart. They're like, oh no, this guy's non-binary though. Well, yeah, but how's his background? What's his abilities? They're okay. but he's non-binary. So let's get him. So when you do stuff like that, you wind up with the non-binary Biden nuke official who keeps stealing people's luggage. You may have heard of this guy. I mean, he's very non-binary. He's gender fluid. I don't know. There's so many different pronouns and orientations these days. Well, let's call him. I'll just read what it says here. It says non-binary, so we'll call him non-binary. That kind of covers a lot of stuff. But he's very aggressive about it. He looks like a drag queen, kind of like he dresses like he just kind of like, or he's about to go into the drag queen show, like just got to pull on his wig because he's completely bald. And but he has a thing for stealing luggage, and so he got caught stealing luggage at one airport. And it's like a Seinfeld episode where George is trying to be the tourist. Anyway, side note. So he steals his luggage and he takes the clothes. He's got the luggage. So he gets caught out on that. Well, now he just got caught again for stealing somebody else's luggage. Again, just at an airport, grab somebody's luggage, a nice one, a nice piece of, he's not grabbing crappy luggage. He's getting a nice, designer suitcase or whatever, no slouch. And so he's stealing it. But now has he not been fired? Why has he not been let go? Why? Because he's a non-binary woke quota hire. And so they're going to keep him. They'll keep him forever if they can figure out a way to do it, because they just, that's the craziness of the left. Like if you fill up enough quota boxes, or you were made to be like, hey, look what we did. We got the first this or the first that. They don't want to lose you because it makes them look bad, But it's like, why can we just take racism, sexism, all that stuff out of everything and just hire somebody based on their abilities, based on their merit? Why is merit such a horrible thing for Democrats? Hire the best, whatever, the scientist, the best, press secretary, hire the best senator, whatever. Who cares what it is? Just hire the best one, based on their abilities, based on their merit in that alone. Don't take race and sex and this and that all off the table. Take away everything on the resume except for what they have done, why you should hire them, and then make the decision from there. And then if they're black, white, Asian, gay, binary, whatever, good. Who cares? They're the best person for the job. We don't do that anymore. At least the Biden administration certainly does. They hire people based on how many boxes they can check off on their woke checklist. And so it literally has little or nothing to do with their actual abilities or merits. Their ability to do the job is almost irrelevant to how many woke wins you can get on your little checklist. It's absurd. It's beyond stupid, and it's incredibly racist and sexist, because you're making your decisions based on both race and sex. Yeah, I'm just speechless half the time with what goes on the left, and is viewed as normal. So maybe on the third time will be the charm for this guy. Maybe the third piece of luggage he steals will be grounds for his removal. But maybe they're just waiting until they can find another gender fluid or non-binary person to replace him, because you can't hire just like some white guy to replace him, or some just even a black person or Hispanic. It has to be a minority ideally, and also some sort of gender fluidity going on. Can't just replace him with somebody who's more qualified. Now that could be a gender fluid person, but based on on how the Biden administration hires, I don't think they care one way or the other about anyone's abilities. They just, again, it's all woke checklists, and if you have enough boxes checked, congratulations, you're the next whatever. Man. All right, let's see what else. Oh, SBF, he's still in the news a little bit. A guy, crooked Ponzi scheme, crypto Ponzi scheme, but donated to a lot of Dems, so he's being downplayed. SBF won't be as helpful as he'd like to be in agreed FTX testimony. Guys, he's a charlatan. He's a thief. He should go to jail, and hopefully he will. All right, let me check out CNN. I like to look at CNN once in a while just to see what they put. Hey, before I go, they haven't been doing a lot of January 6th coverage, and that's not surprising. I figured it would kind of die down a little once the election was over, because I was just like, keep doing January 6th. That's our only hope. You had more of a hope. You had a lot of dopey voters, but will they have January 6th coverage? I feel like they might not. I'm going to say, here we go. I don't see it. No, strange, isn't it? Right after the election, we seem to have run out of January 6th coverage. Very strange. Coincidence? Perhaps. All right. So they're going to, let's see what they got here. CNN's first banner headline: House Republicans brace for doomsday scenario. All right. Sounds very clickbaity. Republican sources say there are early discussions for a floor strategy if McCarthy falls short of the 218 votes needed for the speakership. All right. So they're just talking about the speakership. They got Brittany Griner up here, obviously. Brittany Griner lands in the U.S. and undergoes routine medical evaluation after prison swap. Okay. See, even they're not bringing up, they're just covering the very basics. They're not bringing up the who was exchanged for her, the merchant of death. They're just like, hey, she's back. All right, go back about your business. How about Paul Whelan? Can we get him out? What a story on him, CNN. I'm telling you, Paul, if you want to get out, identify as non-binary or trans, and you want surgery, and you'll be out in a couple of weeks. They'll figure something out. There's like a second a merchant of death. They'll trade him for you. They want to get that all that woke points that they can. All right. Brazil's out. All right. Very bland news on CNN today. Well, I mean, that's probably why they're tanking so bad in the ratings. I mean, what can they really cover? If they cover anything with truth, with integrity, it makes the Democrats look bad, and they can't by their own, I guess, mission statement do that. So they're left with scraps of what they can cover. And then they can't, now that Twitter's a open source, they can't just put out a bunch of propagandist lies and narrative lies because they can more easily be countered with truth. So they're in a real pickle. I'm into Yahoo in a bit. Let me check out Yahoo. Also very liberal. Not too surprising. It's again talking about the senator who left the Democrat Party. Semena leaves Democrat Party, shaking up Senate. You know what? I don't think she shook up the Senate that bad. She's just going to hopefully vote her conscience, which I wish more people would do. Now, that means she may vote for something I agree with or something I disagree with, but, just vote your conscience. Vote how you feel and screw the party. Republican and Democrat. I wish we would do that. I really do. Okay. Backstreet Boys been pulled from ABC. Yeah, I guess Nick Carter is now being accused of rape. I guess he's been accused of it a few times. Where there's smoke, there's generally fire. Yeah, I can't say I blame you. And I think I'm just about done. We'll close with one more here. Kate has a stack of receipts to counter Harry and Meghan's doc. So basically, Kate, William's wife, has a bunch of proof that everything that whatever the heck Meghan Markle's saying about her is crap. Big surprise. Dollar store Kardashians. Anyway, I hope you all had a great time. I love talking to you as always. Please check me out on jeffahern.com. You can also come see me or come check me out at my Patreon site. Have a great holiday season. I'll be back next week with more news. And please check me out on Rumble if you haven't checked me out on Rumble as well. All right, everyone. God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Stay strong. And, when things get bad, just grab some eggnog, turn on the TV and watch some Christmas holiday specials. And just remember some simpler times. All right. God bless y'all. Bye. It's the Naked Gun ending again. All right, I'm gonna hang up, as it were. My producer Mark's multitasking. All right, love y'all. God bless. Bye.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.